What if your Steam Deck could finally play PC Game Pass games the way Microsoft intended, without installing Windows, without relying on cloud streaming, and without buying another handheld? That idea has sounded almost impossible for years. But right now, an open-source project called Zodus is making real progress toward turning that frustration into a completely different gaming experience. For Steam Deck owners, the problem has never really been a lack of hardware power. SteamOS and Valve's Proton compatibility layer already make a huge number of Windows games playable on Linux. The problem is the way Microsoft's PC Game Pass games are packaged and connected to Xbox services. And that difference has kept one of the biggest PC gaming libraries largely outside the Steam Deck's native experience. That's exactly where Zodus comes in. The project is being developed by the team behind Heroic Games Launcher, the open-source launcher that already brings Epic Games Store, GOG, and Amazon games to Linux and the Steam Deck. Heroic has built a reputation around solving problems that official launchers often don't solve on Linux, and now the developers are taking on a much bigger challenge, bringing Xbox PC games to Linux and potentially macOS. And here's the part that makes this story different from the usual "someone is working on it" announcement. Zodus isn't starting from zero. According to the project's own GitHub repository, it can already log users in, obtain game licenses, download MSIXVC packages, and decrypt game executables on demand. Those are critical pieces of the puzzle because Microsoft's Xbox PC ecosystem uses technologies that traditional Windows compatibility tools weren't designed to handle directly. But downloading a pass game isn't the same thing as actually playing it. That's the mountain Zodus still has to climb. The developers say there's substantial work remaining on the wine side, particularly around providing the Xbox services that games expect. In other words, the project has managed to open the door, but getting every game comfortably through that door is another story entirely. Think about what that could mean for a Steam Deck owner. Right now, if you want PC Game Pass on a Linux handheld, your choices are limited. You can stream supported games through Xbox Cloud Gaming, which requires a good internet connection, or you can go down the Windows route and sacrifice some of the simplicity that makes SteamOS so appealing. Community guides and discussions have long treated those workarounds as the practical options. Zodus is trying to create something very different: local installation and execution of supported Xbox PC games on Linux. There's an important catch, though, and this is where gamers need to keep expectations under control. Zodus is not promising that every Game Pass title will suddenly work. The project's documentation says the target is most of the catalog, but games need to use Microsoft's GDK and MSIXVC format. Older titles using different technologies may require additional work or may never receive full support. The project itself currently lists Gears of War 4 as an example of a prominent unsupported title. And there's another reality check. Zodus does not appear to be a finished consumer product yet. The developers described the project as rapidly maturing, but they also acknowledge that major work remains before games can reliably run through the necessary Xbox services and wine components. So if you own a Steam Deck, don't rush to delete Windows or cancel your cloud gaming setup just yet. Still, the timing could hardly be more interesting. Valve's SteamOS ecosystem is expanding beyond the Steam Deck, with the Steam Machine putting Linux-based gaming hardware into the living room. That makes the lack of native PC Game Pass support a much bigger issue than it was when the Steam Deck first arrived. If Zodus eventually works well, the same technology could potentially benefit a much wider range of Linux gaming devices, not just one handheld. And then there's Microsoft. Zodus is completely unofficial. The developers explicitly state that the project isn't affiliated with, endorsed by, or sponsored by Microsoft or Xbox. That doesn't automatically mean Microsoft will oppose it, but it does mean nobody can promise what happens if the project eventually becomes capable of running a large portion of the Game Pass library outside Windows. For gamers, though, the bigger story isn't really about one launcher. It's about the walls between gaming platforms slowly coming down. Valve has spent years making Windows games work on Linux. Microsoft has been pushing Xbox games and Game Pass deeper into the broader PC ecosystem. And now an independent open-source team is trying to connect two worlds that historically haven't fit together. Zodus still has a long road ahead, and there is no official release date that turns this into a guaranteed Steam Deck solution today. But the difference is that this time, the project isn't just an idea. Authentication, licensing, downloading, and important parts of the package system are already being tackled. If the developers can solve the final compatibility problems, your Steam Deck could eventually become something many owners have wanted for years, a Linux handheld with far fewer barriers between them and their Game Pass library. And honestly, that's why this project is worth watching. The biggest change may not be one particular game running on one particular handheld. It could be the moment Linux gaming takes one more step toward becoming a platform where you choose the hardware you want without having to give up the games you pay for. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Unix Media, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest news. Thanks for watching.